Good morning, second graders. We are working on Math L136, estimating sums. With the worksheets for the dolphins and jellyfish, it's the same on the front and in the back is different. So let's start with our spiral review and review. So the spiral review says write the sums, remember to carry if you need to. And so it's horizontal. So I am going to label my place values. Okay. All right, I'm going to add up the one side first. 5 plus 8 is 13. Carry the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. Okay. 12 plus 38. So we are labeling tens and ones, tens and ones, tens and ones. 2 plus 8 is 10. Carry our 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 3 is 5. So it's 50. We're going to label our place values again. Okay. 9 plus 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. Plus 3 is 8. 82. Okay. Then below, write the differences. Remember to borrow if you need to. So again, we're going to label. Okay. 6 minus 7 we cannot do, so we're going to borrow from our neighbor. 16 minus 7 is 9, and 8 minus 2 is 6. Okay. I'm going to label again. Okay. 4 minus 8 cannot do, so we're going to borrow from our neighbor. 14 minus 8, that's going to be 6. 2 minus 1 is 1, which is 16. All right. 70 minus 29, we're going to label again. 0 minus 9 we cannot do, so we're going to borrow from our neighbor. 10 minus 9 is 1. 6 minus 2 is 4. 41. Okay, so now for the review, round numbers to the nearest tens place. Okay, so this is our tens place. So remember, it's either going to rest or we're going to raise the score. Okay. We're going to look to the right of it, look next door, and this is 2. 4 or less, let it rest. So we're going to keep that 1, and then we're going to put a 0. Okay? So the nearest tens, look next door, 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, let it rest. Well, it's 4 or less, so we're going to let it rest. So we're going to keep the 6 and put a 0. Okay? So look next door, 5 or more, raise the score. So this 4 is going to become a 5, and we're going to put a 0. Okay, so for 34, we're going to look next door. It's 4 or less, so we're going to let it rest. We're going to keep that 3 and put a 0. Okay, for 76, we're going to look next door. It's 6, so it's 5 or more, so we're going to raise the score. So that 7 becomes an 8, and then we put a 0. For 29, it is 5 or more, so we're going to raise the score. That 2 becomes a 3, and then we put a 0. For 15, we're going to look next door. We're going to raise the score. That 1 becomes a 2, and we're going to put a 0. For 57, we're going to look next door. It's 5 or more, so we're going to raise the score. The 5 becomes a 6, and then we put a 0. Okay, on the back of the dolphin, it says write numbers in the boxes and estimate each sum. So I can put any number I want, okay, in those boxes. Okay, now I'm going to put 29 here and 42 there. Okay, so 29 rounds to. Okay, so I'm going to look next door. 29 is going to round to 30. 42, I'm going to look next door. 2, and we're going to let it rest. 42 becomes 40. And now I'm going to estimate, I'm going to put the estimated sum, so I'm going to add this up. 0 plus 0 is 0, and 3 plus 4 is 7. Okay? And so that's how you do the rest of the back of this worksheet. If you have a jellyfish on the back, we're estimating sums. So when we estimate sums, it's not like getting a specific answer. If we were wanting to get a specific answer, we would do 2 plus 6 is 8 and 1 plus 7 is 8, okay? But estimating means to come up with a really good guess, a really, really good guess. That's an estimation. So it's not 100% accurate, it's just a really good guess, okay? So when we do this, it's not going to be the exact answer. It's just going to be super close. It's a guess, okay? So first, to estimate the sums, to estimate the answer, we're going to round these two numbers. Excuse me. So we're going to take this 12 and we're going to round it. 12 rounds to, well, we're rounding to the nearest tens. So we're going to look next door. It's 4 or less. So we keep the 1 and then put a 0. Excuse me. Then on 76, again, look next door. We're going to raise the score. So 76, so that 7 becomes an 8, and then it's 0. So now we have 10 and we have 80. And now we're going to add them up. Start on the one side, 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 8 is 9. Okay? So basically, we would take this answer and we round it. And that is our estimated sum. The reason why why we're learning how to estimate sums, it's another way to check your answers, okay? So we could do 1 plus 2, or 2 plus 6 is 8, 1 plus 7 is 8, and then to check your answers, we subtract going up. 8 minus 6 is 2, 8 minus 7 is 1. Or you can estimate the sum. 12 rounds to 10, 76 rounds to 80, 10 plus 80 is 90. So if I were to round this up, I would get 90. And so that's another way to check your answer. So that's kind of why we're learning how to do this. It's so that we can check our answers, okay? So we have 48 plus 32. We're going to estimate the sums. 48 rounds to, look next door, I'm going to raise the score. So 48 rounds to 50. 32, look next door, and I'm going to let it rest. 32 rounds to 30. And I'm going to add them. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 3 is 8. Okay? So now we're going to go to 64 plus 18. 64 rounds to 60. 18 rounds to 20. 0 plus 0 is 0. And 6 plus 2 is 8. 85 plus 12. Okay, so 85 is going to round to 90. 12 rounds to 10. 0 plus 0 is 0. 9 plus 1 is 10. 100. Okay. All right, so there's that. And that is how we estimate our sums.